Alright guys, I have put my own version of a tow bar on it. Now, you've got a little hole there. You can see that, yeah. Which you put a ball on. However, it does bend all this about. So I had a couple of these are like C-beams. So sit still. Now these come out to about there and there, so it's a C-beam. And what I decided to do was cut these off and weld them to the original C-beam that they use in houses of stills, and then weld it onto there. And then I was going to drill through there and fix it and bolt it to that, so I can have the tow bar a little bit away from the back, which is what I wanted. Now, right behind here is the fuel pump, so that weren't going to happen. Or I could have moved it across and that weren't going to happen because it looked not straight. So I decided to just literally weld these up poorly because I'm not a welder, but you got to have a go, ain't you? And then put the ball joint on. So I ended up using these nice flat bits here, but you got a little tiny tack in there, so I could get these right tight up, and then I put a locking nut on there just to hold that on there like that. I think it don't look too bad, and hopefully it'll do the job. No doubt we'll see what happens when we put a load of weight on the trailer, and if it falls off, then I'll re-weld it. But I doubt it because I've gone over these quite a few times. Hopefully that's going to be all right. Now, obviously the next thing, not obviously, but the next thing is this stopped working ages ago. So we've got fuel in there, but the little ball sensor inside that goes up and down, that's not working. So I'm going to take that off, take this apart, and then when you put this little baby into gear, you wait about 15 minutes and it slowly goes. Now I know that's the clutch piston that you have, so I'm going to play about with that to see. I have seen a guy who's took it off, but it just seems a little bit vicious. But I suppose it won't be if you keep the revs low. We'll see. We'll see. I've managed to get her on here, and that's got a lock. Yeah. So if I lower that, there you go. That's now, there's no stress. That's been on all night. I forgot to do that. So it just shows you how good this little table is. But this is one of them hydraulic tables, you know, that you do your foot. And I've put clamps underneath it. Look, I've clamped it to the bench. One at the back and one at the front. But also, the clutch has gone on this. The hydrostatic clutch, I think it's called. Obviously, I'm not a technician here for Hondas. But I cannot, if I put the deck on and then engage it into gear, well, it doesn't work. It just, the engine conks out. There's no clutch there at all now. So I've got to eventually take that off. But no one's actually put a video on showing it, how to do it, that I've found anyway. And like an idiot, I drove into the drove into the shed and broke the light. So I might take that off. I was thinking of putting a Perspex one across it. Maybe keep the silver. I'm not sure what to do with it, to be fair, because I've got to get these bent. So I might have to heat them up, see if I can get them bent and knock the panel out. Yeah. Other than that, I just can't get rid of her. It's my baby. I think I like this more than I like the cars. But I'm playing about with the wiring at the minute. I've got a bit of problems with the wiring, so I'm waiting for some new leads to come in. So I might take that off and see what I can do with that. Other than that, she's in good condition, apart from the deck's got some holes in it, which I'm going to have to weld up. But my next job today is to take this out, because this has been something that's been really annoying me for quite a while now, because it's well, I can't keep conking out petrol. Good job I'm not on the motorway. Yeah, not much fuel in there. Let's have a look, see if it's don't look too bad. There's a little bit of, it can't be rust because it's a plastic tank. Look at the dirt sitting there. You see it? I'll have to take that out and clean all that out as well. Other than that, let's see what happens. Okay, so I've taken the back off, as you can see. I'm going to investigate and tidy all this up. So I thought I'll have a look straight into the tank as to why the fuel gauge don't work. And that's the fuel gauge there. But what I did notice that there was, in here was loads of I don't know if you can see that, there's little holes. I don't know what they're for. I would imagine they're just to stop this from steaming up, like condensation holes. So anyway, this was seized up, so I moved up the plunger and nothing, it still didn't work. So I thought I'll see if I can take this off and I'll have a clean up inside there. So squirted WD-40 inside these holes there, and it starts to work. So I put a tiny drop down in the centre there of WD-40, just a tiny drop, so I don't want it to fog it up, and it works all the time. Look, so I've either fixed it, but if it plays up again I know what to order. I'll just buy another one. But it's like when you're in your car and your fuel gauge didn't work back in the 70s. Oh man. Right, so I know that this thing here is the problem for the piston. For when you put your foot on the clutch, it takes like 3 or 4 days for it to finally pull away. So I'm going to investigate that, and then I'll come back and we'll see what we're up to. I know that that's the proper clutch in there. Look at the size of that spring. I don't make them like this anymore, do they? I mean, like, this is superb. Anyway, let's crack on. Well, it stopped working again, so it's definitely faulty, unless I've made the matter worse by... See, sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Bizarre. Anyway, I can't seem to find one anywhere. That doesn't mean to say it was only a quick look, but I still would like to know what these are for. So if anyone out there knows what these are for, is it for unscrewing? I tried to unscrew it, but I think I made it worse. I want to see if I can just tap that round. Well, it's broke, isn't it? So at the end of the day, I'll have a look. I think there's another guy selling them on eBay, about 11 quid, but they're for Kawasaki's. So as long as that's the same, I might have a look at that a bit later. Right, on to one of the reasons how I started this. This is the original. This is the earthing wire. That one's alright, but look at the state of that. The guy who had this had put earth cable. These were 2 live wires going onto this, which is just ridiculous. So I've cut it all off and restarting again. So yeah, let's have a look. I'm gonna now put that back together again, and then we'll see, have a clean up, see what happens from there on. I've vacuumed it all out and I've took the bars off the back. You know, the great big bars, where they gone? They're not. Them to hold the extractor, which goes on the back with 2 great big bags on the back with a, oh, it's massive, it's proper gross. And I painted the inside of the wheels And then I realised that these wheels were on the wrong way round. Whoever put them on, probably the last guy. They look a bit better. I ain't done the front yet. And I ain't done much to the engine apart from I've greased up and adjusted all this in here. So when it goes into gear now, it won't take a lot. I just hope that it's all going to work. There you go. So it's really slow. I'm sure it'll be alright. I can't really put the seat back on until I get it outside when I get the new battery as well. Filled it up with juice and that's worked, but I know that's going to be definitely playing up. So I'm going to be looking at getting a new one of them. Don't actually know how this system works. I'm sure someone out there can tell me, because I know it's for the clutch, but I don't think that any of this actually touches it. So is that supposed to be like that? I doubt it. I've lightly greased it up with some spray grease because this is only going to be temporary, and then I'm going to be taking it all apart properly. I want to put a new clutch in there, a new clutch in there, and then give it a good power wash, get it back together again. And I've got to fix this light somehow. So that made me mind up. I get rid of that dent, that's easy. But she'll look good externally, polished a turd. But I just love the little thing. It's just a workhorse, it's a brilliant little thing. I love it. I've punished it and I haven't really looked after it. And it's still going. No, but it's the same water, I think it's the same filter that's been on this since day one. And it's not good, but you know, times go by and before you know it, you've forgotten all about this thing. Because you ain't normally got the room. But because I need this for my trailer to take all the stuff out from the shed, I thought I'll have a little go with it, and it's just going on and on and on now. I can't wait to get it back on the road again, so to speak. Yeah. So it's happy days. So here's what we've done. The wheels are all painted. Front wheels have never been painted, and what I've done is I knocked the panel out from there with those, and I've run a silicone line all the way around on the inside. And you know why I've done that, don't you? It's not to stop the water, it's to stop that rattling, because no doubt that will rattle. There's some foam in the sides there, and then it's siliconed over. But it looks alright, doesn't it? Looks like a bit like the old Robocop's helmet. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to have a tidy up. Still on the fuel. Yep, have a tidy up and then get the wheels back on. And I'm not sure, I think I've got a leak in that exhaust. There's a hole in it underneath. I did see it when I was on my back underneath there. I don't know what to do with it yet. I don't know whether or not I should bother. Okay, should get the battery today and get the battery on, put it all back together again and take it out, and then sort this clutch out, see if I've done it right or wrong. That'll be interesting. Well, okay, I've had an idea. Going back to this front, this plate, I didn't show you what the plate was. Basically it's been a thin piece of what's it, a couple of mil of just alley plate. It's not very thick, and I just cut it off and bent it round. I never throw nothing away. This used to go on the Wii Fit. I used to put it on the carpet. Well, I never, obviously, looking at me. But I put it on the carpet and the Wii Fit board used to sit on that. because if you put it on the carpet it didn't give you an accurate reading. So now I've cut it up and I've used it for the front of the tractor. Also, while I'm at it, I was thinking about the precariousness that this must look like stuck on that thin wheeled base trolley, but I can assure you it's solid as a rock. I mean, I'm not going to do much more than that to it. I did test it obviously beforehand, and then like I say, I've clamped the frame to the table at the front and at the back, so it can't really tip up. Even when you lift the bonnet, the extra weight of the bonnet, the thing don't move. It's brilliant. It's really changed. I think I gave 50 quid for that, second hand, Facebook Marketplace, and I don't stop using it. So if you can see one, get one if you've got the room, because it's holding that, and they ain't light, are they, these tractors? So yeah, it's solid. It's definitely solid, and you can lock the wheels, which is what I've done here. Look, the wheels are all locked. So, and obviously the piston is down on the ram. But yeah, I definitely would recommend getting one of them just to support anything, lawnmowers. Even like if you're putting units together, you put a bit of board on top of it. So there you go. I thought I'd just give you an update as to how I made this plate and then bent it round to suit. You know what, I wish I'd done it ages ago. I ain't never going to use the lights. Oh, and that was the other thing I wanted to show you. The lights are still on there. You undo those screws there, and that holds the checker plate in. You can see the plate there, look, bent round. Yeah, happy days. That's it. Let's carry on. So we got the wheels back on and the split pins put in, and I've noticed that the front wheels have got, not this one but the other one's got cracks in it, which means it's tubeless, which means that's the reason why it keeps going down, which is this one. It's got cracks in the side, so there'll be a pair of them I'm going to need. And also there's a load of fluid in there which someone's pumped in that puncher stuff, which hasn't worked. As you shake it, you're going to get it slopping around. Right, a couple of things I wanted to show you on here was when I was looking at the grill, which I'm now blocking with the light, which I need some light. Right, I noticed that ordinarily I change this grill, which goes over to protect the radiator. So I vacuumed all that off, but what I didn't realise was on the actual grills itself, there's loads and loads of grass cuttings that have been on there for months or years even. So I just vacuumed all them off, but I don't actually know how it managed to get past that, but it did. So what we'll do, I've cleaned all that up, knocked that panel out, there's a dent there, not very well because they're all in bed, and let's glue that back on. So this goes in the grooves and drops over. I just don't understand how it managed to get so dirty. It's not loose underneath, but anyway, at least I found the radiator drainer there. I don't really want to touch the exhaust yet because I'm moving, so I'll do that in the new garage where I can put it up on a bench. And also what I've done is I've put these back, and these were really rusted, and I think as the plate comes over the front, the actual seat area of that, I think it, by the wear marks, it protects, so a lot of muck gets behind there, damp stuff, and it was rotting them. So I've just put copper sole over the both of them like that, and then again I'll look at that more if I decide what to do with her, if it works. So that's it. So waiting for the battery now, and then I can put it down and test the clutch out. You gotta love Honda, ain't you? I mean, this is the belt, the actual drive belt that drives the cutting deck, and obviously to get it off you've got to loosen this here, and now I'm looking at it going, oh great, that means I've got to take the radiator off and try and scoop it round, and then I noticed these clips, and do you one clip there, one clip there, and look at that. So now just pass the belt around there. Now to me, there's a lot of guys out there that know their stuff, but to me that's brilliant. That's the reason why I want to keep this little machine, because little things like that, I'm like, how obvious is that? But no one seems to bother doing that nowadays, do they? They don't want you to touch them. Just a little tip, I thought. That there, I've removed the lever that holds it in front of this plate here, in front of this disc here, and then look at that. Now I think that belt has been on there since the little thing was made. I bet they don't make them like this anymore. Looks quite good, doesn't it? I don't know what size it's supposed to be, but I'd still trust it. And all I've got to do now is that. Thanks Honda, I'll put that bracket back on because I don't want to lose it. That's that one there. And that, if you can see it, sits in front of that, keeps the belt on in case it gets a bit loose. Just got to find the nut now. We got the battery finally, and it says it's for a lawnmower, a ride-on lawnmower. Oh, it's cute, isn't it? The one that was in there before was a dirty great big car battery. Okay, she's all done. Battery's on. Let's see what happens. See what that clutch is like. Out in the garage. Well, that was quick. That's the best it's ever driven, ever. no fighting the gears. Oh, you got it straight away. Unbelievable. Oh, that's amazing. Well, there she blows. Got a few squeaks on it, but that's alright. I've got to sort that out later. Well, there you have it. All done. I cannot believe I put it in the gear, take my foot off the brake and it moves. You have no idea what that's been like. Waiting for that clutch to engage and for it just to slowly go away, then you realise you're in the wrong gear. So you push the foot down, change gear again, and you have to wait again while it slowly goes forward again. But now it's my baby, I'm well chuffed, and the old tow bar looks pretty good. Yeah, that's it now. Got to do some work on her. But how good's that? As you can see, I'm well chuffed. Well, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It's the first time the gears have actually ever gone into gears properly, because I messed around with them for a little while. I didn't show you because I didn't know what I was doing. A bit like the rest of it. What's that gauge like? Yeah, it's still got loads of fuel in it. That's what we like. Okay. Well, these are the things that I haven't seen on YouTube and stuff. So hopefully you might see something out of it you might enjoy. Next time I do anything, it'll probably be the clutch. But then again, if I'm not going to use it for cutting, don't really need the clutch, do I? I'm never going to sell it. Wife said to me yesterday, what are you taking it with us for? You might as well get rid of it. No, never. Anyway, thanks a lot. I'll see you all again. Bye.